Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening. You're watching Times Now, and this is a brand new episode of The Nation Wants to Know. I'm Deepti Sachdeva, and interestingly today, The Nation is talking about a man who calls himself Kattar Imandar. And because on the show, remember, we take hard questions, we talk about stories and issues that matter to you, the viewer. So we are trying to uncover what a lot of people have been talking about these days, the liquor gate. You also are wondering whether Arvind Kejriwal is going to be arrested soon. He, remember, has got no relief earlier from the High Court. He went to the High Court because he wanted to stay on the summons. But tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, is when he will have to appear before the agencies. But before all that happens, it's also time for us to put our focus on an important Times Network mega exclusive operation. This is what our focus on the show will be this evening. This is Operation Cocktail. Times Now, remember, is the only channel to access the CAG report on the Liquorgate scam, while the Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and his Aam Aadmi Party generals claims kuch nahi mila, sirf hame tang kiya ja raha hai, ye humse dar gaye hain. Remember, those are the kind of responses you hear ad nauseum from all of them. But we here at Times Now will reveal step by step what exactly are the findings of India's chief auditor, the CAG. And not just this, we'll also tell you what has led it to peg the figure of rupees 2002 crore. Now on your screens are ample of these graphics to actually talk about this man. And like I said, this is a story that has a lot of importance, a lot of significance. Operation Cocktail, the first important takeaway as we quickly recap all of that, is that more than 941 crore loss has been borne by Delhi's taxpayers. If you're a citizen in the national capital, you voted from the Aam Aadmi Party, this story, ladies and gentlemen, should worry you. Takeaway 2, licenses for vendors in areas banned by the Delhi master plan. So who really engineered this? Why was this done? Takeaway 3, now fee waivers given to liquor barons without any provision. Ladies and gentlemen, just think about this. Why were filters removed almost at all points? Brings us to the takeaway 4. Sisodia overruled the excise and the finance department. He gave waivers. So this is a response, remember, to a lot of people who say, what is the role of Manish Sisodia? Why is he not getting any reprieve from the courts? Takeaway 5, according to the CAG report, that fee waivers during the COVID period when liquor sales actually went up. This is where fee waivers were given. This is not what Times Now is saying. This is the CAG claiming this. This brings us to the next important takeaway 6, mismanagement and failure to prepare for eventuality. Remember, any government has a contingency plan. They work according to ensure that, all citizens are taken care of. But clearly, a lot of those concerns have not been kept in focus by the Aam Aadmi Party. This brings us to the next important takeaway that you see on your screens. This is 7. Commercial risk of license fee transferred to the taxpayers. Now, clearly, you must be wondering, what does this tell you? But in all, this also indicates that there has been no coercive action by the government for non-payment of dues. Why did that not happen? Did government become a party to this? Was there any quid pro quo? Are questions that people will keep asking as we talk of this big Operation Cocktail and why possibly, ladies and gentlemen, the problems for the Delhi Chief Minister, Arvind Kejriwal, continue to compound from here. Now, what is the status of the entire case? Even as we speak, you are well aware that the Enforcement Directorate is actually examining point by point all these charges, all these details. And that's the reason why they've sent multiple summons to the Delhi Chief Minister. But the Delhi Chief Minister till now has avoided making himself available before the agency. The next 2 images, in fact, that you saw next to him were also of Sanjay Singh, Manish Sisodia, who many say possibly are more people in this entire net who will be answerable as this entire story moves out. Now, the BJP has hit back at the Aam Aadmi Party after all these details have come in through the Times Network expose, and the BJP says it is very, very important that Arvind Kejriwal comes clean.
1,000+ crores of loss is a very big amount. We must understand that the Aam Aadmi party's name is based on the Aam Aadmi, which means the common citizen. They came on the promise of they will eliminate corruption and serve the people. What are they doing? They seem to be serving business entities. They seem to be serving maybe their own selves, because the allegation is about large sums of money exchanging hands in the liquor scam or the excise policy. Now, Mr. Kejriwal is finding excuse after excuse since September, October to avoid the investigation. He's a man who said we will not allow investigation to happen, we will not allow corruption to happen, and we will ensure we root out corruption. His two colleagues, his ministers who work under him, he's the chief minister, are in jail without bail for allegations of corruption.
So the BJP says Arvind Kejriwal needs to respond, but look at the responses from the INDI netas who've jumped literally to the Aam Aadmi Party's defense. The BRS, ladies and gentlemen, says that the CAG report is quote-unquote imaginary. The CPIM says we do not know what actually happened and we have no comments to make. Sit back and watch what they have responded to.
Either the central government or the authorities concerned are selectively leaking the information on this particular issue. Now that they are quoting the CAG report to show that, and generally CAG adopts a process where when they're calculating losses and all that, it's a totally different process. Generally, many a times even the governments do not take their report into cognizance. However, we say all these losses are imaginary, all these numbers are imaginary. So these things will not stand before the court of law, and we will continue to fight it in the court, and the truth will come out.
No, I have no idea. It is just hearsay for me. We do not know what actually happened, what the report, actually inquiry report has come out. But this controversy is going on for long. I think liquor policy, if they say faulty policy and intentionally committing crime is different. So if there is a faulty policy, many policy in the country will find fault because of misunderstanding. Sometimes policy is formulated which may be wrong. Wrong policy should be abolished, changed.
So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the big CAG report on the Delhi excise policy, and I think it is kind of making it very clear why an Arvind Kejriwal till now has decided not to appear before the agencies. We have Huda Zariwala, political analyst. She leans towards the Aam Aadmi Party, joining us along with Saif Khan. He's a leader of the Congress. And also good to have Charu Pragya, the spokesperson of the BJP, with us. So both ladies and gentlemen, you know, it's important to kind of take the bull by the horn, Huda. There is a CAG report. It is making certain specific allegations. A party that was actually born on the premise of being anti-corruption, kattar imandar, and completely different from everyone else. Why are you giving us the same responses as the Congress did during the 2G and a lot of other scams? You should be different. You should say, come, test me.
Well, good evening. Aam Aadmi Party is actually, in fact, different, because if they weren't different, our leaders, meaning Manish Sisodia ji, Dr. Satyendra Jain, Sanjay Singh ji, would not be appearing for these hearings. And then we've seen what has happened to them. I mean, these agencies, the ED, the CBI, clearly work at the behest of the BJP. They act like spokespersons, agencies of the BJP. We have seen what has happened to Sanjay Singh ji. We have seen Manish Sisodia ji's plight, for so many months now. Dr. Satyendra Jain, we have seen, he was having health issues, and, so much was happening around that story. And then what has happened? I mean, these people are still, not freed. I mean, we don't know what is going to be the end when Arvind Kejriwal ji, in fact, appears for these summons.
No, Huda, I'm a little confused. See, the point is that all these cases, all these gentlemen, that you mentioned about, Charu, all these cases are being dealt by the court. The agencies will have to prove the charges. But I asked you that Arvind Kejriwal says he's different from everyone.
Absolutely.
Huda, and then he decides not to appear before the agencies. And he's telling the court, "Aap guarantee de dijiye ki hame arrest nahi kiya jayega." Why is he so afraid, Huda?
Because we know he's going to be arrested. We know what is going to be the end of all these hearings.
That's the irony.
Charu says that's the irony. Charu, are you not being vindictive? Is what the Aam Aadmi Party says.
You get that fixed?
Can I?
Yes, Charu.
On my voice, Deepti.
Charu, you can hear us?
Okay, let's start from the beginning. Yes, now I can. There is an echo. I was trying to get that fixed.
Yes.
Let's start from the very beginning. I can only hear myself speak. Okay, it's better. I'm so sorry, Deepti, for
Okay, go
wasting
on,
your
please.
time.
Go on,
But
please.
here we go. Very conveniently, Aam Aadmi Party chooses to either believe in the justice system of our country or not. So when there is an order which is in their favor, they say, "Wah wah, Bharat ke court hai, bahut acha kaam kar rahe, thank you very much," claps. But when the very same courts decide that their top ministers don't even deserve bail in the Delhi liquor scam, they pretend they don't know what's going on. The rule is you turn up for summons if you have nothing to hide. The rule is you're cooperating with the investigative agencies if you have nothing to hide. What is the Aam Aadmi Party doing? One, they are questioning the court, even though they know that their ministers have been accused of tampering with evidence in the past. That is the extent to which they have gone. Two, they are bad-mouthing the court itself. Three, Arvind Kejriwal, who used to call himself a kattar imandar person, doesn't even want to turn up for questioning. He doesn't want to cooperate at all. What does that tell you? Hindi का एक मुहावरा है, चोर की दाढ़ी में तिनका. यहाँ मैं कहती हूँ दाढ़ी में कोई तिनका नहीं है, पूरा इंसान ही तिनका बन गया है, because it's glaringly obvious what is happening.
Okay, now Charu and Huda, give me a minute because I want to see where the Congress stands on this. Charu, just a minute, because it's important to get the Congress into this. Now, Saif, you have a working relationship with the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi. Would you advise your good friend Arvind Kejriwal to make himself available before the investigative agency? See, Rahul Gandhi gets summoned, Sonia Gandhi got summoned. They all, went to the enforcement directorate. They went to the agencies. Is Arvind Kejriwal any different?
Absolutely. If the summon needs to be answered, and the process needs to be followed in the court. But let me make everything clear, and let's start from the beginning. Okay, the one which you started from 2G stating as a scam. That is, we have got a clear chit from Supreme Court. That is not a scam, first.
Okay. But when the scam struck, we have seen the Congress responding. Your ministers resigned because of that.
Deepti,
that's exactly the standard I'm talking about.
Absolutely. Sir. But then after the Supreme Court chit, right, nothing, it has been absolutely clear. So it doesn't fall into the scam category, firstly. Let me start from the beginning now. You were talking about the CAG report, and that is what has recently come up in Delhi, and that needs to be taken very seriously by the Aam Aadmi Party. Or there were also a recent report which came out previously in 2023, which stated there were many corruptions, happened during the tenure. 250 crores road, 1 kilometer road was made. 20 crore ka fraud was done with Ram Lala, with Ram Mandir. There were contracts given to the contractors that, just on the papers. There were many corruptions they pointed out, and then later on
is your argument that this is a chota corruption versus a bigger corruption, or do you side with Arvind Kejriwal? Please tell me your stand.
Deepti, let me make it clear here. If there is,
did you not begin?
Charu, let him respond. Then you can counter it.
I did not interfere you. I would perceive here that you're scared. That is the reason you started talking in middle of an. Absolutely. Firstly, let's start from the beginning. Why was 97% raid just conducted on the opposition by CBI and ED? Why was a clean chit given to all of these people? Ajit Pawar, Praful Patel, Savindu Adhikari, Mukul Roy, Hemant Biswa Sharma. They are all clean chitted because they have joined Bharatiya Janata Party. That is a fact here. If you're talking about the CAG report, the CAG report should be taken seriously previous year as well, right? Why were the employees of the one who made the CAG report was transferred? Because they took out, they took out the cheat which was done by the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Saif, you've broadened the entire debate, but you've ducked the entire question on Kejriwal, which is again, what your stand is. But before we hit our first break, Charu, respond to what he said. You're being selective. There is vendetta, is what the opposition is largely alleging.
And Charu, how about electronic bonds now?
No,
electoral bonds.
I was coming to that. I was coming to the electoral bonds.
But this debate, ladies and gentlemen, is on the Times Now expose on Arvind Kejriwal. Let's not forget that. Yes, Charu.
Charu. Can I?
Yes, okay. Charu, Saif, now please extend that courtesy.
Let's begin by reminding the Congress spokesperson that when this scam was unearthed, when this scam was discovered, Congress went around screaming that Arvind Kejriwal is a scamster, must be put behind bars. Every single spokesperson of the Congress said exactly this, except when elections came close and they decided that अपने अस्तित्व की लड़ाई में अपने आप को बचाना ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है. Now that's the truth of the Congress. You've done a complete U-turn. And to remind the Aam Aadmi Party, this is not Charu saying anything. This is not a BJP spokesperson saying anything. The honorable court in this country, the Supreme Court, has made an observation that a money trail of 350 crores have been found, which leads to the Aam Aadmi Party coffers. Exactly that. Okay. In fact, the Honorable Justice also observed that if that's the case, the entire political party could be made a party to this case. That's how big and deep this scam is. K. Kavita has been arrested. She's the one who's going to admit to more things that have been going wrong. You pretend to be holier than thou, but you can't turn up for questioning. Okay. So the fact here is that आपके सारे के सारे कारनामे सामने आने वाले हैं. We've maintained from the first day, Arvind Kejriwal is the kingpin. And
okay, but will Arvind Kejriwal be arrested next? Charu, a lot of our viewers are asking this, and if we just open our phone lines, Saif and Huda, you will have to respond to the fact that a Kattar Imandar Chief Minister, why is he running scared of the Enforcement Directorate? So what's really happening with Liquorgate? Charu, Huda and Saif continue to stay with us. And Saif, I have to ask you this, that not very long ago, when both Rahul and Sonia Gandhi, they were called by the Enforcement Directorate. Did you hear the kind of responses from the Aam Aadmi Party? They made fun of the Congress. But there is a point in what Charu said before we hit our break, that this is an alliance of convenience. When it suited you, you will attack them and vice versa. But the point is, what happens to charges of corruption, Saif?
See, any corruption needs to be investigated, right? And as per the CAG report.
So why is Kejriwal running away from the agency?
Deepti, allow me 30 seconds to firstly complete and tell me and tell, in fact, all the viewers here, firstly, that any corruption should be investigated. We are not against, we want, these corruptions to be.
So you want Arvind Kejriwal to appear before the agencies. Is that true?
Absolutely. That needs to be done.
Okay.
That there is no other option left.
Huda, your allies are saying that he should go and make himself available before the investigative agencies, no? Will Arvind Kejriwal comply, Huda?
Okay, but absolutely. Also, let's not forget that it is this very same Congress party that has also, clearly stated the electoral bonds corruption, the corrupt tactics.
No, don't do this. Don't move to another issue. No. Huda, this is unfair. This is unfair. Talk about Kejriwal today. That is the topic of the debate.
So many corruptions, seeking donations for companies, protections, kickbacks.
You are well within your right to raise any issue, Huda, but that does not mean you obfuscate the real issue, right? The elephant in the room right now is Arvind Kejriwal and the entire Liquorgate scam.
Deepti, let's accept the fact here. That Aam Aadmi Party or Arvind Kejriwal needs to pay the price. I hope I'm connected.
Yes, what are you saying, Saif?
The call got disconnected.
Okay, we'll just dial you back. But Huda, why is Arvind Kejriwal scared? If he hasn't done anything, is he scared that he's going to get arrested?
See, Arvind Kejriwal ji has no reason, absolutely none whatsoever, to be scared. But then we have seen how these line of questioning by the ED ends. We have seen, how a clear case of political vendetta.
No, but Huda, that cannot be the response always. I've run out of time, but I'll just give the last 30 seconds to Charu. Charu, people will also ask that, why this grandstanding by everyone? Why is the Enforcement Directorate giving so many summons to Arvind Kejriwal? Go and pick him up. Go and arrest him. What are you waiting for?
Arrest him how and why? I mean, there has been no money.
Charu is responding to that. Huda, wait.
On one side, you're saying the ED is picking on you, and on the other side, you are saying that, oh, you've been given a lot of leeway by the ED. The fact is they're doing their job. Please allow them to do their job. When they summon you, please turn up for these summons. Both the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party have set a terrible example. When Sonia Gandhi was summoned for questioning, Congress netas threatened to burn down the country. In certain places in the country, they actually did that. And Aam Aadmi Party netas, ईमानदारी की बात करते हैं, but questioning के लिए भी they cannot turn up. You need to do some introspection because the people of this country are judging you. You're not even going to get a dozen votes coming your way if you continue like this.
Uda, in your heart, you and Saif both know that there is trouble brewing for Arvind Kejriwal. He needs to prove his innocence, and that can happen only once he makes himself available before the agencies. So I thank both ladies and Saif also for joining us today, and we'll track that story closely. On the other side, back with lots more.